real wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the rematch we've all been waiting for. This match set for one fall. Please welcome the competitors.
It is main event time here in the Casa Loma Ballroom. The other half of the Blood Brothers, Davey Gibson, is going to go one-on-one in the rematch against Kyle O'Reilly.
First, from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 190 pounds, here is the Blood Brother, Davey Gibson.
Well, we'll see if Gibson can be as lucky as Matthew Grundy was in his match against Marcellus Gaines. I don't think he will. He's already lost to Kyle O'Reilly once in the NWL. We'll see if it happens twice. I'm pretty sure it will.
I have been looking forward to this match since the last time these two fought. They agreed that Kyle O'Reilly and Davey Gibson would go head-to-head for part 2 of their war, and this is going to be a slobber knocker. Thank you, Jim Ross, and this should be a fantastic match.
From Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, weighing 210 pounds, the violent artist, Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly, one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling today, former world champion, making his second appearance for NWL STL. First match defeats Davey Gibson. And now trying to go 2-0 against one of the Blood Brothers tonight, and he's going to have to do it by himself tonight. If Davey's going to win, he's going to probably need some help to get past Kyle O'Reilly. He thinks he's ever going to beat a former world champion right in the middle of this ring.
So many people have been looking forward to this contest, Kyle O'Reilly and Davey Gibson. I mean, the first match was a classic. It was an absolute war between these two. And I think Kyle O'Reilly barely squeaked by with a victory over Davey Gibson. Now Davey Gibson is going to be looking for retribution as he tries to pick up a much-needed singles victory over Kyle O'Reilly.
Well, after the last match, Kyle O'Reilly picked up that microphone and said Davey Gibson is one of his best competitors that he's ever taken on, and he would give him another match any day, anytime, anywhere. And obviously it's back here on NWL STL. And I don't know about you, Ben. I don't see how Davey Gibson can end up getting the victory over Kyle. I mean, Kyle is one of these guys that I don't understand how this guy ever loses. I mean, his impressive moves are always something that takes him around the world. That's why he's one of the most sought-after wrestlers today.
Davey Gibson. Now, this is going to be a different style of wrestling match, much like their first contest. There is going to be a lot of hold for hold. There's going to be a lot of strikes. There is going to be a lot of varied offense. But these guys know each other so well, and they have scouted each other so well that it's going to be hard for one person to gain the advantage over the other. I mean, they may take it to the ground the entire match and try to go hold for hold, or they may fly through the air. You never know when you have Gibson or O'Reilly in the contest.
No, Davey Gibson, obviously a guy that is getting up there. I mean, he is ascending to where Kyle O'Reilly is right now. This is a guy that has been going around the world, going around the nation. This is a guy taking nothing away from Davey Gibson, definitely not. But Kyle O'Reilly, like you said, both these guys capable of mat wrestling, technical wrestling, also high flying. So that's what makes these contests so entertaining, so fun to watch.
As you can see in the opening moments of this contest, both men going hold for hold, getting out of each other's arm locks, wrist locks, transitions. These guys know each other so well, and that is yet another example. O'Reilly wants no part of the submission game of Davey Gibson, because I can tell you that I talked to Davey Gibson before this matchup, and he said he has improved his submission game tenfold since colliding with Kyle O'Reilly this last time out.
Yeah, he said he definitely wanted to be ready for that this time against Kyle. I mean, these guys have wrestled many times. Kyle O'Reilly, originally from Canada, making his residence in St. Louis these days, so they have definitely crossed paths multiple times. But as these guys get better, as they become bigger veterans in this sport, it's just that much better to watch them in the ring.
Hard leg kick. That's going to be a huge difference maker in the offense of Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle is going to look to his striking ability, because that's one thing he does have a decisive advantage over Davey Gibson for. Not that Davey Gibson's a slouch, but Kyle O'Reilly is definitely a slap to the face. You saw the sweat fly off, and Kyle O'Reilly just kicked Davey Gibson right in the face.
Well, you can tell there's definite respect for these two guys. They respect each other, but when they get in that ring, it's like two best friends that want to prove who's the best. The competitive nature of these guys just go through the roof. And when you have one of your friends and you slap him across the face like that, in any kind of competition, any kind of sporting event, you do something like that, you know how much that just invigorates them to want to take you out even more.
It looked like he was going for a face wash there, and Kyle O'Reilly wisely rolls to the outside of the ring. Kyle O'Reilly, there's a different side that we've seen so far to Kyle. He seems frustrated tonight. The offense of Davey Gibson is, I think, thrown off the game of Kyle O'Reilly in these opening moments of the contest. And I can tell you, look at the look on Kyle O'Reilly's face. He looks disturbed. He looks thrown off. Could that be the difference maker in this matchup tonight?
It definitely does seem like he's not very happy. I mean, this crowd definitely not helping. This crowd very pro Davey. And like Kyle O'Reilly knows that he is from this town. I don't know if he quite expected to come into Casa Loma Ballroom and be the guy that this crowd wasn't chanting for, because I'm sure that doesn't happen very much for him these days. But I don't know. Like you said, they know each other so well. They get out of the ring. They know what is coming. They're almost telegraphing everything to each other because they've seen each other and studied so much about each other for so long. Nose to nose in the middle of the ring.
Hard forearm strikes right in the middle of the ring, exchanging blow for blow here. Neither man backing down an inch, and this is the cut. Well, he's a little wobbly now. Gibson getting the better of this exchange. Hard roaring forearm strike right to the face of Kyle O'Reilly.
Now, did you think that would happen? Did you think Gibson was going to get to the point to where he keeps nailing him with those forearm shots like that and finally getting one up on Kyle? You would never see that. I never thought I'd see that.
I definitely stick with my opinion that the striking ability still goes in the favor of Kyle O'Reilly, but like I said, Gibson is no slouch, and now he's starting to really work over that shoulder of Kyle O'Reilly, because if you take one of those arms, one of those legs, any limb away from Kyle O'Reilly, you're taking a part of a huge part of his offense.
And the kicks that Kyle O'Reilly throws in all of his matches are obviously one of the biggest things of his offense. So if Davey can keep him down off his vertical base, this is what's going to help him get the victory over one of the biggest stars in the world.
Aside from the personal conflict that these two athletes have been involved in, what does this say for the rankings of NWL STL? Going forward against the champion, Todd Letterman, how are one of these guys going to fare against the five-star phenom, Todd Letterman?
I mean, it's obviously a clash of styles. You have these guys who are definitely kind of guys that will be able to strike you, will be able to put submissions on you, but also going to have that, obviously, an advantage in the flying capabilities of these two if they ever have to take on the five-star phenom. Todd Letterman is a guy that does have, for his size, obviously the athleticism allows him to do some things that other big men can't do. But he's not going to be able to combat these guys when they go flying around there with the speed that they can bring.
Kick to the back of the head, and once again, Davey Gibson stays on the attack of that left arm and shoulder of Kyle O'Reilly, and that may be a difference maker in this matchup. If Davey Gibson were to apply one of those new learned submission maneuvers on Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, what does that mean for his confidence? If he could tap out somebody like Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, that's what Kyle O'Reilly's known for.
Sure.
And if Davey Gibson can, nice arm breaker. You see that, he kicked the leg out, tripped the leg out from underneath him, and drove that shoulder into the mat.
Davey Gibson and and Matthew Grundy, two of the best guys on this roster. They tag all the time. They're one of the best tag teams, arguably the best tag team in NWL. But those two can also go out and do these individual singles matches like this and look like they can go toe-to-toe with anybody on this roster. So, you know, it's very interesting to me. I always wondered about these guys. Are they better together or alone? Because they both bring so much, as Kyle O'Reilly just attacking like a dog.
Full mount there, was raining down palm strikes. Nicely executed. That's showing a lot of that MMA-based style that Kyle O'Reilly brings to the squared circle, and that's one of the other reasons that makes him so dangerous, is because he employs that MMA background with his professional wrestling skill. And as you saw there, that was a full mount, and he was raining those palm strikes down, and Davey Gibson had to cover up to protect himself.
Much like we've seen in the MMA, you know, a lot of these guys were so good at being high flyers, or they would be a mat technician. Now these guys do everything. You know, the beginning stages, UFC, there was a karate guy, there was these things. They had one thing that they would do, one discipline that they would be very good at. But now you see a guy like Kyle O'Reilly. This is a guy you don't know what to do. What is his weakness? What will you be able to take away? There's not much, because he has tried to train himself in every single direction that this could go at any time. So yes, you talk about, look at this.
Crucifix pin, gets a 2 count.
You talk about Kyle O'Reilly, you don't know what he's gonna bust out. I mean, if you start attaching all the MMA moves to everything he's learned in the professional wrestling world, you get an unstoppable guy. And that's why this guy was a world champion.
Absolutely. Front toe kick. That's a Muay Thai kick that he actually just did to Davey Gibson, and now he could be going for a face wash of his own. That's a painful move where you rake the bottom of your boot right across the bridge of the nose and the face of your opponent, and then you take a running start sometimes and kick their face off. I mean, I'm surprised Kyle O'Reilly didn't do that time.
Maybe just a little respect he has for Davey Gibson going into this. He's not going to do that, but yes, I think you saw the
Close him up there. It could go 2 count.
And you know, it could happen just like that in a match like this with these guys. I mean, out of nowhere it's going to happen. I mean, it's not your traditional thing where it's just going to happen like very slow, plodding thing. This is going to be like a snap of a finger. This match can be over.
It's almost like a standing sleeper, and then kicks that arm. Again, going back to that left arm and shoulder of Davey Gibson. Both men working over each other's left arms. They know that if they take that away from someone's offense, that this match could be over. Hammerlock position by Kyle O'Reilly. We've seen this before, where he lands those hard forearm strikes into the chest cavity of Davey Gibson, snapmares him over. O'Reilly backs up into the corner and then drives the knee right into the forehead of Davey Gibson, and once again locks in an overarm wrist lock on Davey Gibson.
These guys all know they pick a body part and they work it over, and that's exactly what Kyle O'Reilly's doing. You take off one of his wings, makes him obviously way easier to try to pick up the victory and go 2-0 here in the NWL in the St. Louis side, because he obviously also had another match on the Kansas City side. Kyle O'Reilly, even though he sort of bleeds that St. Louis colors, he will go to both sides here, because he is a guy that's
a hot prospect.
A guy without a country, really. I mean, like you said, he's a Canadian. He's living here. Not a full-time guy on this roster, so, you know, we'll see if he can still own St. Louis after this.
Shoulder to the midsection, up and over with the sunset flip. Kyle O'Reilly rolls through. Davey Gibson tries to connect with that head kick. Now Kyle O'Reilly locking in, trying to lock in an STF here. This floats over into a front chancery. What mat-based skills does Kyle O'Reilly has? I love watching this guy compete each and every time in the NWL.
Big knees into Davey Gibson, but he's able to fire back.
Oh, hard slap right to the face. Strikes of all different sorts. Davey Gibson jumps over a sweep and then kicks Kyle O'Reilly in the side of the head.
Both men down now. Going to start the double count, because Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, took the brunt of that from Gibson, and Gibson is still hurt.
Both men trying to get back up to their feet. What a contest we have tonight on NWL STL from the Casa Loma Ballroom. And this is the kind of action, this is the kind of thing you can find at each and every NWL event. Is these kind of matchups. Hard forearm strike to the face of Kyle O'Reilly.
And look at this, Gibson measuring him up.
Gibson with a running boot right to the face, and Kyle O'Reilly slashes in the corner, and there's a running knee strike right to the side of the head of Kyle
Might be
O'Reilly.
over.
Going for a cover here. No, close to a 3 count. Davey Gibson thought that might have been it. Kyle O'Reilly is really rattled after that running knee strike into the corner.
And look, Gibson's still holding that left shoulder because he's still in pain from that. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly's done a ton to take off that wing, and it's still working. You still see it.
He says he might be going for that brain eater, which is that brain buster on the knee, and Kyle O'Reilly just with a hard knee strike right to the face after escaping the brain eater.
That face on Kyle.
Charging in with a forearm strike right to the face. Kyle O'Reilly has that left arm and shoulder and snaps it down over his shoulder and drives him into the mat. Now he's going for a leg lock here. And notice his left arm, it was going to wrap around. It looks like it almost in a heel hook.
Trying to snap that in half.
Well, it looks like both men have leg locks on each other now, and now they're slapping each other across the face. And there's that heel hook. Look at him really reach down on that, and Davey Gibson knows he has to get out of this hold, and quickly.
How much pain is that, just wrenching back on the foot, on the arch there?
Now Kyle O'Reilly transitions into a scorpion deathlock, or a sharpshooter, if you will, and Davey Gibson trying to fight his way out of that by grabbing the ankle of Kyle O'Reilly.
Back and forth.
And now trying to lock in a submission of his own.
Look at this. Kyle O'Reilly, is he going to have to tap? So close, making that tapping gesture. I mean, this would be huge for Davey Gibson if he does that. He's so close.
I think it's the fact that he's got that ankle wrenched really tightly is what was making Kyle O'Reilly maybe think about tapping. And again, that would be a huge feather in the cap of Davey Gibson.
And Gibson can't believe he hasn't won this match yet. He continues to berate the ref. I think both these guys have done that several times tonight because they are ready. They're obviously getting worn down. Their body parts are getting injured, getting hurt because they keep going back and forth with the blows, with the submission moves. I mean, this is exactly what I thought it would be.
Could be going for that power bomb or a pile driver of sorts. If you land a big move like that in this point in the match, that could be it. And a hard forearm strike rocks Kyle O'Reilly to his foundation.
He throws his own back and forth. They go now. Look at this.
Nice, vicious combination by Kyle O'Reilly, kicking that leg, trying to knot up that hamstring, and Davey Gibson bounces off the other side and clocks Kyle O'Reilly right in the face.
No!
Picks him up, drops him, almost looked like a powerbomb. It was a powerbomb attempt too, and now Kyle O'Reilly locks in that guillotine choke. Could Davey Gibson tap out here?
Davey missed the momentum on that powerbomb, but now he's got the is he going to tap out now? He has it hooked.
He has it locked on. Now he's back to a standing base. Davey Gibson doing the right thing. And now he's got a rear naked choke on, or he was trying to get a rear naked choke on. And Davey Gibson, now he has it locked in, switches it around, and now starts knotting up those quads again. Muay Thai knee strikes followed up by forearms and shots to the face.
Where's the energy coming from?
Hard knee right to the side of the head, and Davey Gibson may be out here.
We're 20, 30 minutes into this match. Where did all the energy from Kyle O'Reilly? Just in these short bursts that he's able to hit on Gibson. Double count going now, but O'Reilly gets to his feet first. Gibson laying face down. I don't know if is he going to be able to continue here.
Gibson may be out on the outside of the ring here, but Kyle O'Reilly refuses. He is going to stop at nothing to try to put it into this series of matches, if you will, against Davey Gibson. Kyle O'Reilly wants to walk away tonight and go to the pay window.
Look at this, superplex time.
Oh no, he decides to go. It looks like he's trying to go for that omoplata or that double wrist lock up on the top rope. Might have been going for a superplex at first, and Davey Gibson fights his way out of it, slams Kyle O'Reilly's head right into that top turnbuckle. Could be going for a sunset flip bomb here. O'Reilly holding on to the top rope. Gibson kicks the leg out from underneath Kyle O'Reilly and then kicks him right in the back of the head.
And Gibson now just going to work as Kyle O'Reilly is just hanging there in trouble. What's he going to do now?
Gibson going for that double stomp and stomps Kyle O'Reilly off that rope. Going for a cover here too. Almost gets a 3.
Looking at the referee to say, what is it going to take for me to take out the former champ Kyle O'Reilly?
If Kyle O'Reilly picks up another victory, is he going to be headed next for Todd Letterman, or is he going to slowly climb up the chain? Is he going to try to go for Cornell Douglas? Is he going to try to go for one of the top contenders here in the STL? Oh, driving the shoulder right into the mat. One can only tell, but Kyle O'Reilly has to win this match first.
He's shaking that head no. He saw that coming, and now look at that kick to the back of the head.
Stomp to the back of the head and a Pele kick by Davey Gibson. Kicks Kyle O'Reilly right in the face, and both men are staggered by these blows, and they charge each other. 2 kicks are met in the center of the ring. 2 clotheslines into the center of the ring, and both men are down to 1 knee, and they slap each other, and both men are down.
Such a microcosm of this entire match in that sequence right there, as both these guys equaling each other, both these guys knowing each other so well that they are now laying on their backs so long into this match. I don't know who's going to get the upper hand here.
The fans here in the Casa Loma Ballroom showing their appreciation for the efforts of both of these athletes, as both men are starting to make their way back up to a vertical base. So evenly matched, they're even getting up at the same time. Both men are making it back up to the knees. The referee giving them some leniency here. They're obviously ready to fight. Referee breaks the count. Both men exchanging forearm strikes on their knees, of course, because neither one of them wanting to give an inch to the other.
Come on. Kyle O'Reilly getting up there. He's wanting to go 2-0, and I want him to do the same thing as well.
A little hard. You can hear those shots echoing off of every wall here in the Casa Loma Ballroom. Another lethal combination by Kyle O'Reilly, sending Davey Gibson wobbling into the ropes, but Kyle O'Reilly not sure on his feet either. Now Davey Gibson locks in a guillotine choke of his own.
Look at that, still on his feet though is Kyle O'Reilly. Is he going to fall down? Is he going to find a way to get out of this?
O'Reilly did, and he drops him straight on his head with a brainbuster. This could be it.
Over.
1, 2, no! Oh my goodness, Gibson gets the right shoulder up, and you can see the look of despair or shock on the face of Kyle O'Reilly.
I can't believe the referee almost screwed that. He did screw it up. He should have tapped. He should have counted to 3. Kyle O'Reilly had it. He knew it. He's being treated poorly here at NWL. You know he had it.
I saw his shoulder come up right before the 3 count. Kyle O'Reilly, what is he doing? He's getting desperate now.
This is something you don't see from him that often. He's getting to the point where he's getting the ring bell involved.
Kyle O'Reilly risking a DQ here. What is he going to do with that ring? Come on, Kyle, you're better than this. He's kicking the ring. He's so frustrated that he was unable to put Davey Gibson away. He's willing to get disqualified and lay that bell right upside the head of Davey Gibson. Come on, Kyle, don't do it.
Crown him. You brought it in. Let's do something with it.
He looks like he's second-guessing himself. He doesn't know if he wants to hit Davey Gibson and put this match away. It looks like he thought the better of it. Oh, but he low blows Davey Gibson. Rolls up Davey Gibson. There it is. 1, 2.
Did he count to 3? Did he get that?
What's going on here? It looked like Davey Gibson got the shoulder up right before the 3 count. But Kyle O'Reilly
got the victory. I think he got the victory.
Kyle O'Reilly, the referee called for the bell, but if we had replay, Davey Gibson got his shoulder up. That small package did not put Davey Gibson away. I don't. There's some controversy here, folks. Please stand by.
Definitely. And according to the referee, and here comes General Manager Matt Jackson. What's he going to do?
There's a controversial ending to this matchup.
No, you know what? We're not going to have this end that way. Referee, I demand you restart this match right now.
this is unfair to Kyle O'Reilly. He got the victory.
No, I think that's a smart move on General Manager Matt Jackson's part. This match is restarted. Kyle O'Reilly firing knees into the midsection. We weren't sure on that count, and I don't think the referee was, but now there's going to be no debating that after he just dropped on his head, and Davey Gibson is out at 1.
Hey, despite the fact that he may have kicked out before the 3 count, Davey Gibson lost. Kyle O'Reilly, the referee counted 1, 2, 3, and you see Matt Jackson come out here and restart this match. This is obvious bias against Kyle O'Reilly because he's not a regular member of the St. Louis roster.
Locking in, what's he doing? Rolling through, grabbing him by the arm. He's got that arm bar. Kyle O'Reilly trying to bridge those hands together to alleviate some of that pressure on that left arm and shoulder that's been somewhat injured during this match. Now he's locked on a triangle choke. Davey Gibson using some of that martial arts training that he's received. And now, what is he? Kyle O'Reilly picking him up. He picks him up and drives Davey Gibson into the center of the ring. And now he's got that yes lock. He's got that yes lock locked on. And Kyle O'Reilly,
don't tap.
Look at the hands right across the bridge of the nose. Kyle O'Reilly is in an excruciating pain. And he taps out. He taps out. Kyle O'Reilly has tapped out against Davey Gibson.
Ladies and gentlemen, at a restart of 1 minute 27 seconds, your winner by submission, Davey Gibson.
Davey Gibson picks up a huge victory here tonight.
That is a huge victory, but I also saw Davey Gibson lose. I mean, this referee had it 1, 2, 3. Matt Jackson has to answer to this. This is horrible. Why is he to come out here and arbitrarily tell him to restart this match?
I mean, there was some controversy with that pin. I think referee Matt Jackson did the right thing by restarting this match. Kyle O'Reilly ends up tapping out to Davey Gibson. That's headlines no matter where you go. Congratulations to Davey Gibson on a hard-fought victory tonight.
It's a huge victory for Gibson. And look, Kyle O'Reilly still friends after this, going into this knowing that he had to win to even up this series with Kyle.
And the series now stands at 1-1. What will the future hold for Kyle O'Reilly and Davey Gibson? Man, what a main event we've seen here tonight. And that's just the kind of action you can expect at the Casa Loma Ballroom.
Davey Gibson, huge victory, huge upset, I should say, against Kyle O'Reilly to end this week's NWL STL show.